We are supposed to be live right now. It is an amazing fresh weather in Lapland, Finland. Minus 15 degrees, maybe somewhere in the range of 15 and 20 even. As my fingers start to freeze a little bit. But in any case, we are having a surprise aurora show tonight. There wasn't supposed to be any auroras and it was cloudy, but by a surprise or a chance, we are having a really good show. So we have been seeing some small northern lights for over an hour now, and they have been doing just that you can see on your screens as well. They're going back and forth with little tiny arches here and there, but I am really curious what can happen next and if we will have a even bigger and a better show here tonight in the Finnish Lapland. And if you like what we do, there is a link visible on the screen right now where you can go and purchase some extras or become the members of our community and support us and gain some really cool extras in return. So we would highly appreciate that. As always, behind the screen is Alex from About Lapland, just showing my face for a little while, so you know who you're talking to. I'm not gonna bother you with my face for too long, just here to say hi, basically. So, in the course of 2 minutes that we are seeing this show together, it looks like it is intensifying by a big margin. We have really beautiful, or well, several beautiful arches, but one of the arches there on the left is climbing higher than the rest, and it looks really promising for some more action tonight. So I'm on a frozen lake beyond the Arctic Circle in Finnish Lapland. As usually, I'm in the middle of nowhere, or at least that's where I aim to be. And temperature is on the dial, it's not very cold, it's only like minus 15, 16. But I guess here on the lake it feels much colder, as it's quite shivering right here, although that is nothing in comparison to the cold that we had earlier in January when we had a live stream in minus 35 degrees centigrade. So this is like really gentle compared to that, and just regular winter weather. So it looks like that I've started the stream just at the right moment, because it started to intensify right away. Like we're having this amazing curvy arch on the left and in the middle of the screen, which just came alive in this past couple of minutes. So it looks indeed quite amazing, and we have no moon in sight, which is a good thing, and it will let us enjoy this beautiful show in much better lighting conditions. And it looks like the arch is getting even more curvy there on the left, which is usually a good sign. Looks like there is some activity. Oh, and there's another arch, little arch, just over the horizon there on the right side, and it's like a tiny piercing arch, but it's moving very fast, as you can see. And the one on the left is just going places. It's rising high up, which is quite cool. It may look like that it's not moving for a short while, but when you just look somewhere else, and you can see that the shape has already changed, and that's really what's happening there. And it's a beautiful curvy shape on the left. Looks very tasty and promising for it to go higher and to visit places tonight. So quite a fresh and beautiful night. And let's see some comments, because I don't see any yet. Oh, there we go. We have a lot of folks already commenting. Millainen sää siellä on? Aika kylmää. Pretty cold weather. So we have Muriel saying morning. Well, local time is 9 p.m. so morning to you. We have Saul, we have Tito, we have Nicola, we have Dave on YouTube. Hello, Dave. I'm doing just fine, and the show, it's absolutely amazing. It looks like the arch has split in two, and it's like, you know, creating an offspring. So one is going left, and another one is going to the right, which is quite cool. And by the way, congratulations UK and all the Europe for all the snow and cold that you're getting. I'm really glad that you can experience winter there over in more southern Europe, because winter is truly the best. So there are some people saying, like, you told us there was no auroras coming, and that's what I really thought, because this is really like a surprise aurora for all the forecasts and all the kind of meters were telling we won't see much tonight, and it was really cloudy for a long time. But here we are. The sky is totally clear, and we also have an amazing aurora show. But it's not that amazing yet, but it's really nice already. So hopefully we'll be able to live stream for a longer while tonight and see some good stuff. So where is Julia? Julia is home in warming up. So now we are having some interesting shapes there. The arch on the left became one again, but there is one on the right doing things as well. But two arches is definitely better than one. So, and the sky is totally clear all around me, but I'm only going to show you the aurora now, because it's the main focus for the auroras. Really optimistic that in the future we'll have two cameras that we can switch from, so there are different parts of the sky visible, but one is better than nothing, and this is pointing to the place where the show is at the moment. And we're having a really wonderful month of February with lots and lots of cool things to see, lots of auroras and lots of sunshine, beautiful days. So this feels like it's a real winter. Really cold. We didn't have any warm weather for many weeks since late December. It was always below -10. I don't remember seeing single-digit frost temperatures during a long while. So this is like a real winter, exactly as it should be. However, maybe next week we will have some warmer weather. We have some snow. We did have snow yesterday for like first time it snowed in 2 weeks, but it was like really light snow, like nothing major, just a little, like, I don't know. It looked like it was snowing for an hour and then it stopped. And not to worry, we have lots of snow everywhere on the ground and lots of snow on the trees. If you are following our channels regularly, yesterday we visited Amethyst Mine in Luosto, which is over 100 kilometers north from the Arctic Circle, and the views from up there with the snowy trees is just amazing, and it's also a unique place where you can visit and dig your own amethyst stone there, like just with your hands. So if you haven't watched this, I really recommend. Julia made a live stream on Facebook, and I did a live stream on YouTube channel, and there's also one on Instagram, and we are all called All About Lapland in different media channels. We also have a really cool channel on Telegram. It's t.me.allaboutLapland. So really recommend joining this new app where there is no algorithm. You can communicate with your friends and family with better security than other known apps, and you can also subscribe to channels like ours and you will get 100% of the messages. Like, there is no editing by any kind of third party. You just get whatever we send you there, or any channel sends you, you get it. So that is a really cool thing, something that we haven't had with our known social networks for many years, if not decades. So going back to our show, it looks like there are many beautiful arches there on the sky, which are kind of interplexed. And I'm also seeing like a bigger, fainter arch on my left, so towards even more towards south, just over my head. But it's very faint one. You wouldn't even normally understand it as northern lights if you don't know what you are looking at. But there is another arch there which is in development. Well, actually, I think I'll just go and tell you what I'm talking about. So this arch ends over there on the left, but there, like in the middle of the horizon, there is another arch, or like many of them, going up in the sky, and they connect on the other side. It's like an arch which is spawning all over the sky, but it's very faint. I can barely see it with my own eyes, and the camera also barely can see it. By the way, many people ask me if what I'm seeing with my own eyes and what the camera does is the same thing. Well, essentially it is, but the camera itself has this effect of seeing more than my eyes do, and particularly it sees more color. So this video feed live, it's not edited in any way. I mean, there is no color correction happening. Everything is produced by the camera, and what it sees is it's more color than I do. So what I'm seeing it's just a very pale green. It looks like a white or even gray color to my own eyes, but the camera reveals the green color, which is a good thing, I suppose. So we can enjoy a good show. But that's just technical things. That's how it works. So in terms of luminosity, like how much light, I guess we are seeing the same thing with the camera as I do. So the saturation, or the amount of green or the color, it's the main difference. So let's see what we have. We have many people saying Kaunis, beautiful, glorious view. So people saying, wow, moika Alex, hello guys, how you're doing. There is a question from Brenna. Can you tell if it's going to be an active night, cloud aside? Yes, you can, Brenna, you can. You can go to one of the many forecast sites where they tell you basically if there's some cool things to be expected. One of the sites is spaceweather.com, and another one is spaceweatherlive.com. And this is the channels that I often check. But tonight, what is happening? It's how can I explain it in a simple way? Well, basically, what you are seeing right now, it's the effect of the solar wind. And solar wind, it's like a regular wind. In many ways, it's like a metaphor for that. It's in the sense that it's always blowing. So Earth is all the time under the effect of the solar wind. But the solar wind can be different. It can be like fast, it can be slow, and it can be thick or it can be very thin with very little particles. So basically, the more particles that are flying in space, the more chances for the northern lights. But the main thing about this wind, it's magnetic, and its magnetism is designed by the sun, and it's always changing. So it's changing in a quite a random pattern. At least that's what we understand right now. And the Earth is also a magnet, and what we know about magnets. So opposites attract each other. So when we have a solar wind with the opposite charge than the Earth's charge is, then we have a much likelihood of northern lights. And tonight, all of a sudden, this solar wind turned like opposite polarity from the Earth's magnetic field. Basically, Earth's magnetic field is north to south all the time. It doesn't change, although there is a theory of changing, changing poles, changing polarities, which might be true, but for the time being, it's north to south. So when you're having a solar wind which is south to north, like it is tonight and has been going on for all night, you can have this surprise outburst. So this is something that it's never in the forecast. It's something that's really changing. And by looking at sites like spaceweather.com and spaceweatherlive.com, you are basically in the loop of what's happening. So there is also a long-term forecast of aurora, and it's based on observation of the sun. And by looking at different regions on the sun, one can estimate, like we might have a faster solar wind, which might bring us northern lights, bigger northern lights, or we might have like one of those coronal mass ejections, or like explosions, so to speak, on the sun's corona, which can produce the solar storms. So this is how long-term aurora forecast works, by looking in the sun with the telescopes. But sometimes you just have a surprise show. And I think it's a really cool thing, because nature shows us that it's really amazing and unpredictable. And for me, it's also this fun of the chase for the northern lights, chasing for the good nights, for good locations for northern lights, and also for great views. So tonight I am on a frozen lake, because it provides me with a really open space to observe the sky in every direction. And these auroras are still quite low on the horizon. So if you have like a bunch of trees or like a thick forest, you might not be able to see the best of it. And so frozen lakes and rivers in Lapland, they just provide this really nice and unobstructed view of the aurora. So there on the horizon we have a really nice show, some piercing auroras. And this is where the most of the action is happening. However, if we look at all the sky over there is green, so there is aurora action happening nearly everywhere. So the whole sky is green, and that's because the Earth's magnetic field and the solar wind are attracting each other. So that's why they are kind of becoming friends, and we have a lot of green lights all around the skies. So half of the sky is mildly green, and on the horizon there is also a couple of arches which are dancing in a quite a beautiful way. So we are almost 20 minutes into the stream right now, so I'm getting a little cold at the moment, and I'm gonna sip some tea over here. It's starting to get quite cold here on the ice, and maybe it's time for me to put my spare shirt on, because I really thought I'm gonna be okay, but in the end the cold is overpowering me a little. Maybe I'll do that quite soon. And we have our friend Valtrot, who is helping us out at this link that you are seeing on your screens, and he's a member of our community, helping us out. Thanks a lot, Valtrot and Brenna and all the others who have joined our membership and purchased extras from us. So really thankful for your support. This is all for you guys, so that you can enjoy. This is a show to share for all of us. So hope this will bring smiles on your faces and make you feel more happy and more positive, because nature always reminds us that even though human tries to control life as much as he can or they can, but there's always this element of randomness and unpredictability about everything, and we shouldn't count on things as we are. We should always be alert on different possibilities and different outcomes in our lives. And so that's kind of, you know, my my message today, my feeling of observing these auroras that have surprised me tonight. So now we have this really cool action on the left, like just on the edge of the screen. We have another arch which is trying to teleport high in the sky, and there are two other arches underneath on the right that are doing some funky stuff, doing some aurora dance. So I'm really kind of looking forward, like, come on, aurora. Sometimes we can see a big beautiful explosion after this kind of, you know, dance, warm-up dance. Of course, you never know if it's really going to happen, but my theory as of now it is that we are gonna see some kind of, you know, really cool and rapid aurora explosion in the minutes or hours to follow. But that's my theory. we're gonna see if it materializes itself. So Jessica saying, is this visible right now in Rovaniemi? I suppose so. Henriette is saying, I don't hear you. Well, what about everybody else? Can you hear me? Is it just Henrietta, or is it everybody else? I guess people are commenting on my answers, so all of the other people can hear me. So I'm not sure what's happening there. Please don't freeze, Alex. Yes, it's a good idea. So Nee is saying minus 60. No, it's only like, I think it's about minus 18, like my gut feeling. Or my, you know, my own thermometer telling me it's about minus 18. And for some reason, my hands are getting frozen more than anything else. I guess it's because I try to scroll through the comments and see what's happening there. So now there is something interesting happening. There is some kind of snowmobile adventure just all of a sudden, which is quite cool. Like, I'm not sure if it's a guided trip or something, but that's quite fun. I have no idea who these fellas are, but I suppose there is a snowmobiling track over there, which is quite cool. I hope that they will stop and look at the show too. That's quite nice, actually. Looks quite cool. There is a snowmobile trip. Interesting. Life is full of surprises. I just told it like 3 minutes ago, and then and then this happened. Quite cool. Brennan is saying that does look fun. Yeah, indeed. Although driving on a snowmobile requires a good amount of clothes, because there's also this added cold from the wind. Okay, I have to say I give up. I will take a little break from commenting, and I will put another shirt on. So I will put just a regular sound here, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes with the sound. And there you go. Now you're listening to the sound from the camera, just ambient sound, while I'll put on an extra layer over here Right. I think that I'm back now. Sorry for the weird noises. Just had to put some layers on, and I do feel much better already. Much more tight with an extra layer. Nice, nice. So it does feel a little chilly here, undoubtedly, but that's quite mild. I guess it's about like 15, 16, 17, 18 degrees right now. And we've seen much worse on this show. To be honest, when we started live streaming earlier in autumn, that was really pleasant. By the way, it was really like only like 0 degrees centigrade or like -5, and I didn't think I'd be able to do it all throughout the winter. I think at some point the technology will be like, it's not possible. But live and learn, and I think it all worked out great in the end. So here we have another arch, which is now a little bit more north, which is dancing quite beautifully. Stay warm, yes, trying to. You need those gloves that still work on phone screens, but keep your hands warm. I think they even heated once. I'm kind of old school. I mean, I've seen these gloves, but they don't really convince me, and I don't really need to touch any screen right now. I'm not touching any screen, except the trackpad here. From some times. So, and I'm actually wearing double mittens. Well, I will show you here. So I'm having just regular gloves like this, like really thin ones, and then I'm having like these big ones on top, like thick ones. So I put one into another. So that is kind of that is kind of the guarantee for staying warm in this temperature. So I've actually seen pictures of my friend on Instagram who has frozen his fingers again, who has been filming so hard outside that he has frostbites in his fingers and toes as well. So that was kind of alarming to see, but sometimes we photographers, videographers, we go crazy for these views, and you know, try all kinds of illogical things just to capture this amazing beauty. So we are having 1, 2, 3 arches right now. You're seeing 2 of them. They are not full arches, but in any case they are spawning nicely over the sky, and there is another one which I call this third arch, this one on the right, which is kind of big and fat one, and it starts to be a little more precise. So I think it's growing, the activity is growing, and we're having this 2 arches over here that are quite active, which is really nice. We also have a bit of a clouds on the horizon, and I hope that the clouds will pass us. I try to choose a place with less clouds, but sometimes you just get surprised. So hopefully this place stays clear, at least until we'll be able to see some more of the show tonight. So already half an hour into the stream, and that's time flies pretty fast. That's quite interesting. So how do your camera not freeze up? Well, what freezes in the cameras is the batteries, and same goes to the laptop. But what I did, I've bought several really huge batteries with different capacities. So one of them, it's like 17 kilo 1.5 kilowatt battery, which is right by my side, which is powering all the streaming devices. And I've also got a smaller battery that powers my camera. It's not the internal battery because those are dead already. Those are very small, but I have this big battery setup to power everything, and so far it's working good. And it also worked in a very cold weather in minus 35 degrees. We streamed for a whole hour, which was quite amazing. Didn't expect it to work, but it did. So there is a lot of technology and gear which is involved in that. So there is the link over here on the screen that you can go to, and in the description as well, if you want to support us and gain some really cool things in return. I love the white downward streaks. I'm not sure what you mean, Brenna. You mean the shape of the aurora, probably. The stars are unbelievable. Yes, the stars are quite cool. There are so many people who like the stars. Tina is asking, what camera do you use to take photo? Well, for video, I will start with the video. The one that you are seeing through, it's a Sony Alpha 7S camera, the first generation. There is a newer one on the market, the third generation, which I'm looking to acquire in the future once times get better. But for photo, I mainly use Canon cameras. I have several Canon 5D cameras, Mark IV, a couple of Mark IVs, and older models that I use that are now retired. So I use Canon 5D cameras because they are really sturdy and built for this kind of cold weather. Actually, it doesn't really matter for me which brand someone uses. It's not essential. I mean, all the major manufacturers produce capable gear, so it's mainly about your artistic vision and your strive, your intention to take great pictures. That is really the key here. And sometimes you only have an iPhone with you, and it's a beautiful sunset, or like your mobile phone, whatever the brand. The brand doesn't matter too. So sometimes you only have this. So the best camera is the one that you have with you. So suffice it to say like that. And we have some interesting stuff there on the right. I mean, it looks like it's gonna go bigger at some point, but still it doesn't. It like stays in this standby mode. But not to worry, we are here to stay, and I decided to start the stream early, even before the bigger show, just to be able to show you more stuff, show you how it really happens. Like sometimes you really need to wait for a couple of hours before you are really being able to see the best of it. But some people commented about the stars, so we can put the camera a little higher to reveal the stars as well, and they're quite beautiful everywhere. It's almost entirely clear everywhere except the clouds. They're in the north, very close to the horizon, but so far they're not a problem tonight, and hopefully they won't be a problem either. So I still believe that the best of the show is yet to come, and we haven't seen seen the big ones yet, so those are quite small auroras, and we've seen quite many times on our streams, especially in autumn ones when we had all the time in the world to stream and it wasn't cold. We were streaming for an hour or even 1.5 hours into the show until we hit this really big explosion. And it looked for a while that it's stopping, but then all of a sudden, like, things changed and there was a big boom happening. Jen is saying my camera froze up. Well, you have to warm those batteries. You can warm them. What I do is I warm them in my gloves, and I have them like I have easy access to them because they're in my gloves, and as opposed to being in the pockets, because the pockets get quite cold. Or you can put them somewhere near your body, like if you have some kind of a, I don't know, inside pocket in your shirt, or like you know, this chest pocket. There are some kind of sometimes you have this kind of models. So that's a good way to keep them warm. What time it is? It's 9:45 p.m. so very early evening still. And Bruce is saying incredible views. That is right. Marcus is saying, I like the wide view, assuming it is by a lake provides. Yes, it is. We are on a frozen lake. And I'm getting frozen myself as well. Heating jacket wood may help. Are there some kind of heating jackets there? Haven't heard about such models. So I'm gonna getting a little frozen here, so I think I'll just take a little walk back and forth. That's what I do when I get cold. And well, maybe I'll take a few pictures. I'll set my other camera to use, and that will warm me up, because I've been basically sitting on the ground. Well, ground. It's not ground. It's a pile of snow on the ice, a big thick layer of snow on the ice. So I'm getting a little frozen. So that's why I'm gonna do some